progression is inevitable if you have MS. Or is it? After the video I put up a day ago with that awful thing, or the awful way the nurse said this to a patient, it has generated a huge amount of chat. And a neurologist I know got in touch with me and shared a WhatsApp conversation that they had been having with another neurologist. And they shared it with me. They've given me, both of them have given me permission to read it out, obviously naming no names and slightly anonymizing it, but it's almost word for word. And I'm going to read this for you now. Neurologist 1. I truly believe in early treatment. When Lemtrada first came out with liberal inclusion criteria, I had several patients that took it. They are living a normal life. Neurologist 2, who was the one who got in touch with me. I agree. Saw a couple in my clinic yesterday, one on alemtuzumab, which is Lemtrada, and one on natalizumab, which is Tysabri. Both utterly stable for years. One of them has improved. MS does not have to be progressive from the outset. So I'll read that again. MS does not have to be progressive from the outset. It doesn't mean MS won't or can't progress. What they mean is that if effective early intervention is made, progress can often be halted. There's no guarantees. Some of us are losers with things. I've never won a lottery of any description in my life, so I consider myself a lottery loser. And some of us are winners. It's just the way it goes. So you can't take this statement and say that applies to everybody. But I'll say it again. I'm just reading it. MS does not have to be progressive from the outset. So that's an MS specialist neurologist who believes in effective early intervention. In the UK, they have to work around, I would say, in my words, sometimes fudge the guidelines a bit in order to get people on early effective treatment. I've been bombarded with stats, papers from people, etc. The time it takes to get seen is shocking. I mean, I said to my GP about a year and a half ago, I've got this kind of funny, I'm not sure about it, mole on my back. And it was like I'd set off the fire alarm. Wait, we'll get you in. There's a cancer pathway. 2 weeks. And I felt like I had my ears pinned back. And I'll go back to the cancer analogy. Nobody with cancer has been told, well, it's not serious. Why don't you come back when you can feel your tumors under your skin? I mean, that's just bonkers. MS, though, stands to disable us for life. Once something's happened, it's incredibly difficult to get it back. Alemtuzumab and HSCT are the only therapies that I'm aware of where there has ever been any reports, and this hasn't been proven in trials or anything like this. These are anecdotal reports of people regaining some function, and that's generally when they've been got young and early in the course of their MS. Somebody like me, who's had it for 31 years now, I had my second round of alemtuzumab recently. I am not expecting to pick up my bed and walk, as they say. But I am hoping that I've hit it with the biggest bloody stick possible to try and stop it in its tracks, because I'm 54 and hopefully I've got life ahead of me. So I want MS to be the smallest part of that, which is why I opted for alemtuzumab. I know there's potentially serious side effects. I have my blood monitored monthly. I've got a 4 in 10 chance of getting an autoimmune thyroid disorder, normally Graves' disease, and relatively easily treated. But nonetheless, I'd still rather have that than progress into physical disability. That means a hell of a lot for me. I've been very active most of my life, so I can no longer run. Maybe it's because I broke my femur, but partly because the MS gets me in that leg too. But anyway, enough about me. MS progression is no longer an inevitable thing where you have to sort of suck it up, cupcake. You're going downhill. It's just not a thing. 20 years ago, possibly. The neurologist had little choice but to sort of watch you deteriorate 20, 30 years ago. These days, the neurologists have a choice. And that choice is to allow you to deteriorate slightly more slowly if you're given the really basic early drugs, which sure, they sound safer, but I'd rather take risks balanced against the likelihood that I'm going to get disabled. And I don't know if that's going to affect my eyes or my speech or my hands or my legs or my sex life or whatever. I don't know. But frankly, I want to make that the least likely thing possible. And I'm willing to risk other things. Anyway, don't let anyone tell you that MS means that you are going to inevitably progress. If you're treated effectively and you're treated early, there's every chance that you can at least stop it in its tracks. You can't cure it right now, but you can really make it stop in its tracks. Put a hard stop in. So that's something to think about. And if you get any static or crap, frankly, from your care teams, you shouldn't, but you might do. Be like water running downhill and just go for the path of least resistance. And it's often easier to change medics. And in the UK, you have a right to ask to be referred to whomever you like. Doesn't always mean it's going to be that easy, but you can certainly start asking for second opinions, and you can use your GP to do that. You don't need to ask your MS neurologist if you're not happy with them. Ask your GP to refer you to somebody. Depends how far you're willing to travel and what their waiting list is like and everything. But you do not have to put up with the "it sucks to be you" approach. Just don't. Anyway, I'm off to Ectrems next week, which is a massive MS medical meeting, and I really hope to learn interesting, cool stuff. That's where things like that occur. And I'm on a panel about how patients interact with their healthcare professionals, providing these videos don't get me kicked off. But anyway, I will see you probably in a week or so. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.